purpose of life is to live, and living is a delicate process of integration with nature and spirit. Nature is all that we see, feel, know, understand, and experience through our senses, mind, and intellect. Spirit is what we refer to as the I, the all-pervading awareness. The integration of experience and awareness is yoga, and the effortless manifestation of this integration is Yogasiddhi. Yogasiddhi is the birthright of every human being. If 1% of humanity can attain Yogasiddhi, Earth will be the most sought-after paradise in the universe. Swami Sri Atmananda ji says, paradise is not somewhere beyond. It is here, within us. It can be manifested on earth through our collective Yogasiddhi. In this series of talks, Swami Sri Atmananda ji explains the concepts of yoga, siddhi, and the process one has to go through to attain Yogasiddhi. We now present the process of yoga by Swami Sri Atmananda.
I begin our past series of the talk. The theme is Beyond Yogasiddhi. Welcome, great yogis, awakened beings. We are going to share something with each other. Although you are the listener and I am the speaker, but still I say we are going to share something with each other. Why I say so? Because when you listen me speaking, you actually will receive my transmission. And as you keep listening, I actually receive your transmission. When we both receive each other's transmission, we both are actually joining with each other. I join with you, you join with me, and this joining is happening not in our mental, not in our physical or vital or intellect plane. This joining is happening in our psychic plane. This joining is called, in Sanskrit terminology, yoga. Yoga literally means to join, to add, to be linked, to be united. That's the meaning of yoga. So this yoga is a term now everybody knows, few understand, and very few experience it. When we know something, it is called information. When we understand something, I call it information processed through our intellect. Processed information is understanding. Random information is knowing. And when understanding is experienced, that is called knowledge. And when experienced knowledge is manifested through our what? Action, reaction, that is called wisdom. Yoga includes all these stages: knowing, understanding, experiencing, and expressing or manifesting. For knowing, we put effort. For understanding, we put effort. But for experiencing, we don't put effort. Experience comes, but experience will be more and more if our understanding is based on our experience. If the understanding is delinked from experience, our experience will not be more and more. And we can say that to expand our experience, we sometimes have to put effort. But when it comes to realization, we don't put any effort. And if we are putting effort to manifest what we have realized, that is called not realization. That is something which a person is doing in order to show to others, although he is not actually that what he is projecting himself to be. All these are words of the mature mind. All these are words for the adult mind. And an adult mind can do yoga. An adult mind is interested for yoga. The word yoga, if we go to the origin of this word, where from this word came yoga? The word yoga was made popular by someone who is called the father of Yoga Darsana. And he said, yoga, truly speaking, is not an effort. It is a process. But to know, to experience, to understand that yoga is a process, one has to start it with a conscious practice. That's why he said yoga is self-imposed discipline. If someone is not himself willing to discipline his own mind, senses, intellect, such a person cannot do yoga. Now the question may come, why should we do yoga? What is the purpose of doing yoga? We are all happy people. Can yoga give us something extra in our day-to-day life's struggle? Can yoga solve our problem? A very bright young man once asked me, can yoga ensure that I will definitely get 100% score in my physics paper? One wage earner in a factory asked me, can yoga give me a promotion. A small businessman asked me, can yoga help me to expand my business, increase my profit? And a village level politician asked me, if I learn yoga, if I do yoga, can I become a minister? And a sick man asked me, if I do yoga, can I be healthy? And an old man asked me, if I do yoga, can I go to heaven? I have given one reply to all these questions, that is, yes. Everyone can find what he wants, or she wants, if one can truly do yoga. That's the reason we have to do yoga. The very fundamental purpose of yoga should be to get everything what we truly desire. So yoga is not against desire, yoga is not against experience. Yoga is to fulfill desire. So, for the modern man, yoga is the first necessity. But the yoga should be the last compulsion. If it is the first necessity, why should it be? It should be the last compulsion. Because the very definition of yoga is, it is self-discipline. The moment it becomes external discipline, the spirit of yoga is lost. One can achieve success in yoga if it is self-will. You cannot become a successful yogi simply if I tell you to do yoga or somebody compels you to do yoga. You can be a successful yogi if you want to be a yogi. And you should want to be a yogi not because you want to have some extraordinary power which yoga can give you, but when you truly become a Yogasiddhi, you will see none of these powers are of any use to you. So, yoga is the process that gets activated when we sincerely want to activate it. Yoga is not an action, it is a process. Like the blinking of the eye, feeling hungry, feeling sleepy. These are all process. You feel to sleep. You feel hungry. If you don't feel hungry, you go to a doctor and say, I am not feeling hungry. The doctor will say, oh, you are having some disease, some problem. If you don't feel sleepy, you are having insomnia, you go to doctor to take a medicine. So not having that what is natural to the system shows that we are not healthy. Same way, not feeling to be in our own natural state of perfection, not feeling to reach that state of perfection, that state of naturalness, that state of abundance, that state of tranquility, peace, bliss, delight. Not feeling this is a symptom that there is something wrong in our system. To rectify the wrong, to make us feel the process, is the purpose of yoga. This is the reason the classic teacher, the father of the yoga philosophy, told, when a person attains yoga, he attains his own natural state. That is called, he said, tata drashtu swarupe avasthanam. He reaches, attains his own state. So, we have to remember that yoga is not something external to us. Yoga is something which is natural to us. So, until we feel this, till that time, we have to put effort to activate this process, and our effort should continue till there is no need of putting effort. We don't put any effort to blink our eyes. We don't put effort to feel hungry. We don't put effort to sleep. We don't put effort to walk and run. Once we have crossed that stage, infancy state, childhood stage, we don't put effort. If we are putting effort to walk or run or sit or stand, that shows that there is something wrong in our system. The same way, until one feels there is no need to put effort for me to be in my natural state, till that time, one should put effort to activate this process, and once the process is fully activated, yoga ends and Yogasiddhi manifests. We are going to fully understand in an experiential way through a series of our interactions. Those of you who would like to experience this process that is happening in you, you should keep listening to the entire series. By the end of the series, you yourself will be convinced that yes, I am now experiencing the process of yoga is actually happening in me. So, in this past talk in our series, I will today tell you what is yoga. Yoga, as we said, is addition. Addition of what? Addition of that what actually you are. What you are? You are what I am. What I am? I am what all the human beings are. To come to this understanding, to have this experience of oneness, and to reach this realization of unity is Yogasiddhi. So, when we add something similar to something, that is called addition. True addition. We add 2 apple with 3 apple, it becomes 5 apple. That is called yoga. But if we add 2 orange with 3 apple, it is not yoga. In a basket there are 2 oranges. We put 3 more oranges, then we can say in basket there are 5 oranges. But if there is 2 oranges and we put 3 apple, we cannot say there are 5 oranges or 5 apples, although both are fruits. We say in the basket there are 2 oranges and 3 apples. This and shows that both are different. When I say you and I are friends, this is not yoga. You and I, this is not yoga. You and I, this is viyoga, difference. But you in me, I in you, this is yoga. There is no difference. A spoon of water, 2 spoons of water becomes 3 spoons of water. That is addition. So ultimate stage of yoga is we call merger. The drop becomes trickle. The trickle becomes stream. The stream becomes river. River becomes ocean. Each one is a stage of yoga, addition. The same way, when we do yoga, we actually go on adding something to our own self. So the little self becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we are able to feel this. We cannot see that our self is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. We can feel, others can see, here is a person who is now growing more and more towards unity. This concept we will understand more and more as we proceed step by step. So yoga is a process through which the embodied being, the being that has a body, the being expands to be linked with the all-pervading being. The being that is within the confinement of his own body, her own body, expands to be linked with the all-pervading being. And that process should happen without getting delinked permanently from the components of our system. Our system means our human structure is having different components, different compartments. One is the gross that we are seeing, we are calling the body. The next is the subtle, that which we don't see, but we don't deny its existence, that is called the mind. Then there is another component which is still subtler than the mind, that is we call the vital, or the seat of feeling, the seat of drive for action. Then there is a fourth component called the intellect, and a fifth component is called the psychic or the pure chit. So when we do yoga, to activate the process, we should be careful right from the beginning that the being within us is expanding. But it should not be at the cost of curtailing the becoming in us, the component in us. If I do yoga in a way that I am dealing from my mind, then I cannot function in the outer world. If I get delinked from my vital, then I cannot function as a social being, because emotions, impulses, everything is coming through the vital. If I get delinked from my intellect while expanding the being, I will be an worthless, because I cannot decide anything, how to respond, how to react, how to act, how to do certain things. So these are the critical points one has to remember while practicing yoga. So, being, I am repeatedly telling you about being. What is being? Being, for a layman's understanding, is called awareness. What is awareness? Awareness is that which is not sensory in origin, but you experience it. Any experience which is not object-centric, organ-centric, is called awareness. And you also experience that. If you are not experiencing that, then it is also not awareness. As you experience an object, a fruit or a flower, you experience it. You experience the taste, you experience the touch, smell, sight, sound. As you experience, so also you experience that which is not any of these objects. And you experience that not through the organs of touch, taste, sight, sound and smell, but still you experience it. That is called the being or the awareness. And to enter into the yoga, you have to just remember these two words thoroughly. You must understand the difference between the two very clearly. Experience through the objects, through the organs, we call it in one word called becoming. Experience without the objects, without the organs, we call awareness or the being. And because you are being and I am being, X, Y, Z, all are beings only. That is our oneness. That is the root where we have to reach in order to attain Yogasiddhi. If we can reach that state of unity in our awareness, then that unity will manifest itself through our chit, our consciousness, and everyone can feel he is mine. I am his. She is I am she. But this feeling, you have to remember, this feeling is there, but it is not object-centric, it is not organ-centric. If that is there, then you have attained Yogasiddhi. It is called realization. Now the question is, if that is the natural state, awareness is the natural state, being is the natural state for all of us, why we are having so much of difference? Why do we have this difference in feeling, in action, in thought, in read, in reaction? What is it that has completely divided us in millions and billions of ways? What is that? That we call in the yogic terminology chitta vritti. Chitta vritti means the tendencies, the latent tendencies. These are like the streams that flow. So many streams flow towards the river, then only a river becomes mighty. So many trickles, trickle of water, small trickle of water flows to make a stream. And so many drops of water move from different directions to join to make a trickle. As the drops make a trickle, several trickles make a stream, several streams make a river, several rivers joining together makes an ocean. But what is an ocean actually? Ocean, if you see from this angle, is nothing but the summation of drops. Because ocean is the summation of drops. That is why when ocean itself wants to manifest, it goes as a drop of vapor. It does not rise itself as ocean. So, when you attend Yogasiddhi or anyone attends Yogasiddhi, he feels the same way. She feels the same way that all the millions of drops are in me, and it is I who has manifested in all the million of forms as XYZ. This is called realization. And this realization, to be called Yogasiddhi, must be a dynamic realization. It must remain permanently with you, in you. Now one question may come, if this remains permanently in me, with me, how can I then differentiate between a criminal and a saint? Now my answer is, a criminal is a criminal because of his action in the realm of becoming. A saint is a saint because of his state in the realm of being. If you truly have gone through the process of being, while retaining your link with becoming, you can understand what I am referring to. But if you have not gone through the process of being, retaining your link with the becoming, and your link with the becoming has been cut, you simply have entered into your being. It is like a kite that has been cut, the thread is cut, and that kite does not come back. It goes and falls somewhere. This is the reason. In the very beginning talk of this series, I want to emphasize that you must be always alert that the being in you, the awareness in you is expanding without endangering the experience of the becoming. This is the golden path that can make you a Yogasiddha. We should do yoga to attain Yogasiddhi, because after attaining Yogasiddhi, we will know what is beyond Yogasiddhi. So, these tendencies, what we call the latent tendencies, hidden tendencies, these are like the flowing river. These are called in yoga terminology chitta-vrittis. And because of these chitta-vrittis, we are not able to see even what to talk of feel. We are not able to see the tranquil state of our being. How tranquil, how crystal, how pure, how bright is that, the being we are not able to see, because there is constantly waves. As the waves of the ocean doesn't allow you to see the bed of the ocean, even if there is only 2 feet water, 3 feet water. You can't see beyond 2 feet even. Why? Because it is waves are there. But in a placid lake, you can see 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet. Why? Because there is no wave, no ripple. You can clearly see what is there underneath. The same way, if somehow, through some technique, through some practice, if we can still our wavy chitta-vrittis, latent tendencies, even for some time, if we can make it still, and we look within, we will see, oh, it is so tranquil, so still, so pure, so bright. And that seeing will not be through the eye organ of sight. That seeing will be through the sight of your being, through the eye of awareness. You can see you, the being. The scriptures say, through the eye of wisdom, one can see that which wills everything, does everything. So, now the question is, how to make our waving chitta-vritti still. To do that, we first must understand what are the chitta-vrittis. All the chitta-vrittis, all that flows within our system, and where it flows through our physical layer. All these waves and ripples flow through our mental layer. All these also flow through our vital layer. This physical, mental and vital, these tendencies always make our chitta, our consciousness, always like an wavy ocean. That's why we are not able to see even 2 feet below, 1 feet below. When someone sees something attractive, something delicious, When someone hears something soothing or unsoothing, how much time it takes the person to react or act? It takes a fraction of a second or a few seconds. But when you do yoga, you acquire the strength that you are not acting or reacting, you are taking time to respond. So, when you are able to see the nature of this wave, then only you can decide how to respond to this wave. This is the basic fundamental knowledge that chitta vrittis are the inner flow of our tendencies, the latent tendencies of our desire, frustration, suppression, all these just flow like the wave of the ocean. Somehow these are to be made still. If somehow you can make the sea water still, even if it is muddy, even if it is salty, even if it is dirty, if you can simply make it still, you can see some feet below. That should be the first priority of a yogi. Let me first see within, then I will try to find out how I can cleanse it, how I can filter it. So, this is chitta vritti, we call the latent tendencies of sanskaras, of emotions, impulsions, desires, suppressions. These are all combined together, is expressed in one word called the latent tendencies, or in Sanskrit chitta vrittis. And they are grouped together in 5 different groupings. So these are 5 groups, 5 different layers of these vrittis or tendencies. And each group has a name. The first is called pramana. The second is viparjaya. The third name is called vikalpa. The fourth is nidra. The fifth is smriti. Now to give an English translation of these words, pramana means a direct proof. Viparjaya, that is that which brings disaster. Vikalpa, that which is alternative. Nidra, it's called sleep. Smriti is recollection. These are the 5 vrittis or tendencies that flow constantly within the human system and is covering that placid, tranquil, pure, bright state called the being or awareness. In our next class, I will tell you more about these 5 different types of chitta vrittis, giving direct example from your day-to-day life. What is the meaning of pramana or direct proof? What is disaster? What is the alternative factor that makes this chitta vritti moving fluid? What is the true meaning of sleep? And what do you mean by recollections? And how these are connected with the process called yoga. We will explain all these in our next class.